Rampage Jackson says son Raja should go to jail. Rampage Jackson has said that his son, Raja Jackson, should be sent to jail for assaulting wrestler Syko Stu at a small local wrestling event. On August 23, Raja Jackson went with his best friend AJ Mana to a Knock X Pro Wrestling event. During the show, wrestler Syko Stu mistook Raja for another pro wrestler and tried to cut a promo on him by smashing a beer can over his head.
Oh,
Syko Stu. Worried about Syko Stu.
Syko Stu.
What, you don't know me?
Hell no. Yeah.
Hey, I think that's a little.
Oh!
When Syko Stu realized Raja wasn't actually a performer, he apologized, and the two settled things peacefully.
I apologize.
I appreciate it.
I didn't know. I thought you were
I get it.
Jackson's best friend, AJ Mana, wasn't ready to let things go. He fired up Raja, encouraging him to storm the ring and confront the pro wrestler.
No.
What he thought was he was a pro.
I understand.
Yeah. Another thing is, even when we are working like that, you don't fucking. You know
That's
what
I'm saying.
But he doesn't know him like that.
He don't. He's a fucking idiot. Hey. So when you run in on his shit, you fucking give him his receipt. Remember what a receipt is.
What happened next turned into one of the most shocking incidents in combat sports history. Raja charged into the cage and attacked Stu, who had to be rushed to the hospital. Long story short, Raja is now facing serious legal trouble, with an ongoing investigation and growing pressure on his father, Rampage Jackson, who believes his son should go to jail for what he did.
On Monday, and then in the comments, you were saying to people that you think he should go to jail, right?
Yeah. If the judge thinks he should go to jail, yeah, I think Raja should go to jail so he'll learn not to do this shit no more. Like, you got to control your emotions, and I think I'm not saying like people saying he should go to jail for 10 years. No, he should go to jail and not prison. He should go to jail, do a little time, and then get some therapy, and learn from this. So, because this is what
Rampage later defended his son, saying that while Raja's actions were wrong, he shouldn't face a long prison sentence, emphasizing that he never intended to seriously harm Stu or take his life.
Because he wasn't trying to kill that guy.
How do you know?
Because that's my son. I know my son. Raja wasn't trying to kill nobody. He wasn't trying to kill that. He wasn't trying to kill that guy. Raja probably didn't even know how bad he hurt that guy. He wasn't trying to kill that guy.
While Rampage understandably has a soft spot for his son, the footage and evidence tell a different story, making the case far more complicated than it might seem. Whether Raja will face serious punishment remains to be seen. Do you think Raja Jackson deserves a lengthy prison sentence? Dana White racks up $50 million debt. UFC president Dana White isn't just famous for running the world's biggest fight promotion. He's also a notorious high-stakes gambler. While his massive wins often make the news, his losses don't get nearly as much attention. According to Casino.org, sources claim that White might currently owe the Red Rock Casino in Las Vegas up to $50 million. This debt reportedly comes from credit extended to him so he could play high-limit baccarat and blackjack. For most people, a number like that would be devastating. But for White, it's just another week. White's gambling exploits are well known. Just a few weeks ago, he made headlines for handing out $1,000 chips to fans, and in July, he reportedly won $1.2 million playing at Fontainebleau the night before UFC 317. He's also joked about getting blackout drunk and waking up with a $3 million gambling debt. Losing tens of millions might sound insane, but White has also had some enormous wins. He reportedly clipped Caesar's Palace for $26-27 million over just 2 months in early 2024, playing $350,000 hands. Even with all this gambling and reported debts, White probably isn't too worried about the Red Rock money. He has connections, including the casino's chairman and CEO, Frank Ferdinand, who's also a former UFC owner. For Dana White, gambling isn't just a hobby, it's a high-risk, high-reward lifestyle, and he clearly knows how to balance massive wins with even bigger losses, all while staying in the headlines. But sometimes, some gambles change your life forever. At least that's what Alex Volkanovski's latest admission tells. Alex Volkanovski gets honest about Topuria loss. Alexander Volkanovski has admitted that the quick turnaround between his knockout loss to Islam Makhachev and his fight with Ilia Topuria might have been too much. Volkanovski, who currently holds the UFC featherweight title, suffered back-to-back knockout defeats in a short span. His first UFC loss came against Islam Makhachev at UFC 294, and just months later, he was knocked out cold by Ilia Topuria at UFC 298, costing him his featherweight belt. In a recent podcast, Volkanovski spoke candidly about those fights, explaining how the rapid schedule may have affected his performance and recovery.
Yeah. I go in too early and I get knocked out, I lose my belt. Yeah, and that's the fact, and that's what happened. Like, I'm not taking anything away from Ilia, but I mean, I'm just saying that's what...
Volkanovski also explained that his knockout loss to Islam Makhachev affected him mentally going into the fight with Ilia Topuria. He admitted he was really afraid of getting hit again, and that fear ended up contributing to what eventually happened in the fight.
Yeah. I was worried about getting hit, and I was freaking out in there. And I remember sitting there, I was like, oh, like, I was in two minds. Like, trying not to get hit, but then telling myself, no, you're right. Like, you'll come back to it, relax. You know, I was like, if I was that worried about, why didn't I just shoot and be more defensive and just take him down and just hold him there? I was like, but then I'll tell myself, no, you don't need to do that. You're right, you know what I mean? But then a lot of my reactions was like, oh. Yeah,
Since losing his featherweight title to Ilia Topuria at UFC 298, Alex Volkanovski has made a strong comeback, reclaiming the belt after Topuria vacated it to move up to lightweight. Topuria had been expected to face Islam Makhachev there, but with Makhachev moving up to welterweight, Topuria instead defeated Oliveira to claim the lightweight title. Now Makhachev is set to attempt a similar move against Della Maddalena at UFC 322. Ahead of the fight, Makhachev's coach has issued a serious warning for JDM. JDM warned against underestimating Islam. Heading into the fight, many are framing it as a classic striker versus grappler matchup, with JDM himself thinking that Makhachev's striking is basic. In a recent interview, Makhachev's coach, Javier Mendez, was asked about Della Maddalena's claiming Makhachev's striking is simpler compared to Belal Muhammad's. For context, Della Maddalena defeated Muhammad to win the welterweight belt at UFC 315. Mendez said he isn't worried about Della Maddalena's opinion, especially if the champ keeps that same attitude on fight night.
Striking?
If he's saying that, I hope that he goes in believing that, because when he gets in there with Islam, you're going to find out a whole different story, because I'm sorry, they're completely different. And by no means is Islam an easy for anybody to understand. Any MMA fighter that's a striker, that's not going to have an easy time with him. I've been with this kid like going on 11 years of watching him just destroy everybody on the stand-up, guys that are much better stand-up than him, and he still destroys them. So no, don't go by what you see. When you get in there with that man, it's a whole different...
Unlike JDM's apparent downplay of Islam Makhachev's striking, Team Makhachev fully recognizes the danger JDM poses and is preparing to counter him using their full strengths.
His striking is very, very good. It's very diverse, and he's very powerful with every strike. I mean, he can hurt you with anything. He can hurt you with a kick, a knee, left hook, right hand, right uppercut, left hook, you name it. The guy's got the total arsenal to be able to put you down. So I am definitely fully aware of what he can.
With Islam Makhachev stepping away from the lightweight scene for now, Dagestan still has plenty of talent ready to dominate the UFC's 155-pound division. One of them is Usman Nurmagomedov, the current Bellator lightweight champion, who doesn't hold back when talking about Ilia Topuria. Usman Nurmagomedov says Ilia Topuria is not one lightweight. In a recent interview, Usman Nurmagomedov shot down the idea that Ilia Topuria is already the world's #1 lightweight. He insisted that the UFC champion still has a lot to prove and argued that his own record and achievements make him more deserving of that top spot than El Matador.
Come on, brother. Ilia Topuria, how he can be lightweight #1 in the world? He cannot be. He did only one fight. I have 19 fights in lightweight.
And undefeated?
I have 25. No, like, I beat former champions, I beat champions, and I think my resume is like better than him.
Usman Nurmagomedov also weighed in on the upcoming fight between Islam Makhachev and Della Maddalena, highlighting the clear advantages Makhachev has over the UFC welterweight champion.
I think he's gonna be champion in the welterweight because of he have everything for that. No, his skills is like, I think is better than Maddalena, because of Maddalena have only boxing, and but Islam, if he take you down, he gonna hold you whole around. Of course, Bilal was problem with that. He lit Maddalena up, he lit him up, he tried to again, like, but this way he gonna let it. But when Islam hold you, this is like, it's done, you know.
Even though they've moved to different weight classes, both Ilia Topuria and Islam Makhachev have expressed interest in facing each other in the future. If they're both champions by next year, their fight could happen at the UFC Apex, which Dana White confirmed. However, Dana White also said Jon Jones won't be fighting there for several reasons, and Chael Sonnen understands where the UFC president is coming from. Chael Sonnen agrees with Dana White's stance on Jon Jones, White House hopes. The White House is scheduled to host a UFC event next year as part of the July 4th celebrations, marking the 250th anniversary of the United States founding. Jon Jones wants to make his comeback at the event, but Dana isn't too keen to make it happen. Chael Sonnen agrees with Dana White. Several UFC fighters have expressed interest in headlining the White House UFC event, including Conor McGregor. However, it doesn't look likely he'll participate, as he's currently focused on his own political ambitions. Recently, he posted a video on his social media accounts that looked like a mock presidency drill.
Good morning, citizens of Ireland. I'm here today outside the office of the Taoiseach in Taoiseach, where we are over 200 days into the formation of current government. In these times, this government has cost us our peace of mind, our security, our hope for the future, and the general well-being of Irish citizens nationwide has decreased dramatically, whereby we have seen the homelessness of Irish children risen to levels unprecedented, proving this government's refusal to abide by and respect our proclamation, and where all children of Ireland are to be cherished.
It looks extremely unlikely we'll see Conor McGregor fighting at the White House. Right now, his focus seems to be on his political ambitions in Ireland, so if anything, he might show up more as a presidential hopeful than as a UFC fighter.
No, I wasn't even thinking about the title when I went into MMA. I just wanted, like I said, the UFC, they signed me before I had even done any fighting in MMA at all, you know, before LFA, before Legacy. So they signed me like with the developmental plan, and they said, try it out, see if you like it. If you do want to stay in it, you know, I'm signed already with them. If not, no problem, you can stop and then go back to jiu-jitsu, whatever you want to do. So I went into it like, oh, Ronda Rousey, everyone's just like, yeah, you should do it. You know, you're really good at jiu-jitsu and you can go into like movies and this and that. And I had just won, 2015, I won all my major titles in jiu-jitsu at black belt, 2016. So it was kind of just like, see how I do, if I like it. And then if anything, I was like 23.
Mackenzie Dern on Ronda Rousey's influence. Mackenzie Dern recently shared that Ronda Rousey was a big influence when she decided to pursue a career in MMA. Over the years, Dern has become one of the sport's top female fighters, and at UFC 321, she has the chance to claim the vacant strawweight title against Virna Jandiroba. While some critics question whether she deserves a title shot, many acknowledge the challenges Dern has overcome to reach this point. In a recent interview, she opened up about how she got started in MMA and the journey that led her to this championship opportunity. Salt Papi thinks he was robbed against Tony Ferguson. Salt Papi isn't happy with how his boxing match against Tony Ferguson ended. The two fought for the MFB interim middleweight title at Misfits Boxing 22 in Manchester Arena, where Ferguson, also known as El Cukai, won via third-round TKO, his first combat sports win since 2019. Many fans were unhappy with the referee's decision to stop the fight, arguing that Papi should have received a standing 8-count. Papi said he didn't feel he was truly in danger during the final barrage, and believes the fans didn't get a proper finish to the fight.
Yeah, I had to put my hands up, and then the referee just stepped. There was only like 20 seconds left on the counter as well.
Yeah, of course. It's unfortunate what happened. So
yeah, but like, you know, I felt like the fans got robbed of like a proper fight.
Mm-hmm.
Like I was 2 rounds up already.
Yeah.
And then you know Tony Ferguson need to work more.
Papi also pointed out that other referees on the card gave fighters more leeway, like in the main event when Darren Till brutally knocked out Luke Rockhold.
It's like that wasn't really a bad loss for me.
Yeah,
it wasn't like I got knocked out. It was the ref. The ref was like, you know, a bit biased.
Yeah, it was definitely an error stoppage in my eyes.
There was a notice. The referee all the refs were acting differently for all different fights. Like Rockhold, he was knocked out on the floor and the referee was still counting.
Yeah, I know that.
And then on the Joey Essex Numero, there was like the 8 standing count.
Yeah,
and then on my fight, I never got anything. So I don't know what's going on, but this is the boxing business.
Do you agree with Salt Papi? Let me know what you think about this and the other stories we covered. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.